Hello, Colleyville Heritage, and welcome to our first edition of Roaring Red Live. I'm Jeffrey McPhail.
And I'm Victoria Post. Today we'll give you a closer look at the mums from homecoming week, and Paige Pachera will be giving us an inside look at the presidential race as it comes to an end here in the next couple of weeks.
Plus, find out how our volleyball girls are taking their competition by storm. This is Roaring Red Live. The past few weeks here at Colleyville Heritage have been an exciting time for all the students, but especially our volleyball girls. They have been battling it out in the court all year long, and now the season is just getting interesting. With a record of 39-3, they feel confident they have a good chance of succeeding in the playoffs. Their second playoff game is tomorrow against Mansfield at Irving MacArthur at 7 p.m. I'm really excited for that game.
Yeah,
it's
they
going to
did
be
really good last night.
I sadly missed the game last night, but I heard it was a great game, and I'm looking forward to the next one.
Yeah. As homecoming week came to an end, there were several things that we could be proud of as Panthers. Among these accomplishments is the hallway decorations, the amazing parade that ended with a show of fireworks, and most of all, defeating the MacArthur Tigers under the Friday night lights. But let's not forget the Texas tradition, homecoming mums. Friday the 19th was filled with cowbells, jinglings, and best of all, flashing lights. And as always, we can't wait until next year until they will surely be bigger and better.
I think that homecoming is the best day for people watching here at Colleyville Heritage. It's just so funny to see like some of those giant flower-covered things just like devour something.
I know,
it's
they're
just,
like 3 times the size of some girls.
It's hilarious. Anyway, up next we've got Paige Pachera in the studio to give us some insight on this very important presidential election. Paige.
Thanks, Jeffrey. As high school students, we find ourselves beginning to step into issues bigger than ourselves. And one of those issues is who will be our next president. Over the past few months, the race has heated up between presidential hopeful Mitt Romney and our current president, Barack Obama. As the debates aired, gathering a combined total of over 150 million viewers, they put their issues on the line with America watching. Let's take another look.
I'm going to stop the subsidy to PBS. I'm going to stop other things. I like PBS. I love Big Bird.
About restoring America's heart and letting terrorists around the world know if you do harm to America, we will track you to the gates of hell if need be.
And the president's right in terms of the additional oil production.
Our Navy is smaller now than any time since 1917.
Well, Governor, we also have fewer horses and bayonets.
Deny those loopholes and deductions to higher income taxpayers.
How in the world the president said no to that pipeline, I will never know.
But I always say what I mean. If you stood in front of a coal plant and pointed at it and said, this plant kills, and took great pride in shutting it down. And now suddenly you're a big champion of coal.
Folks, use your common sense.
And said, can you help us find folks? And they brought us whole binders full of women.
With all due respect, that's a bunch of malarkey.
Right now in Colorado, who are working, creating wind power with good-paying manufacturing jobs. A few months ago, when you were asked what's the biggest geopolitical threat facing America, you said Russia. Not Al-Qaeda, you said Russia. In the 1980s are now calling to ask for their foreign policy back.
It took the president 14 days before he called the attack in Benghazi an act of terror.
Get the transcript.
He did, in fact, sir. So let me call it an act of terror.
Can you say that a little louder, Candy?
As we can see, Obama's using his past experience as a lawyer to help out, while Romney is relying on his business expertise to carry him to the White House. But is that enough? Obama mentioned his plan to increase the amount of homegrown energy and taking a more green approach not seen by the Romney-Ryan ticket. Romney also made a mention of the lack of jobs created by the Obama administration, but let's take a look at the chart from the Bureau of Labor Statistics. When Obama took the Oval Office from former President Bush in 2008, he obviously was faced with a challenge. And in Obama's 4 years, he has taken the job creation from a negative 800,000 to an average of almost 150,000 new jobs created each month since the December of 2009. The Vice President holds a very important position. When they think of this, are their manners affected?
Credited by 6 other studies to make up the lost ground. But I say, try to scare people from voting for you.
You have refused, and again, to offer specifics on how you pay for that 20% across-the-board tax cut. Do you actually have the specifics, or are you still working on it, and that's why you won't tell voters?
Different than this administration, we actually want to have big bipartisan agreements. You see, I
Do
understand
you
that.
have the specifics? Do you have the math? Do you know exactly what you're doing?
Biden could not get any specifics from Ryan about his plan to refuse the deficit. He avoided the question and sidestepped to a new issue. Obviously, there's something that's not being told to the American people. Let's see what some of you have to say about the presidential candidates.
Romney, because I don't like Obama.
I would vote for Obama because his policies are more relatable to me.
Oh, really? Like which policies?
Like his stance on women's health care.
Right now, I'd probably vote for Romney because I feel like he really knows how to fix the country with our debt and stuff because he's dealt with so much business.
And now I leave you with this. I'm Paige Bergera.
When I was a boy, I used to think that becoming rich and becoming famous would make me happy. Boy, was I right. Thanks, you guys.
All right, well, thank you, Paige. I think it's going to be a very close race.
Yeah, definitely. It's hard to...
Yeah, the polls they seem to be just like that, so we'll have to see.
It'll be interesting. Last week, it was donation time at Colleyville Heritage, and students weren't giving from their wallets. Thanks to American Red Cross Association, students were able to donate their blood in order to save lives. Most students giving 1 pint of their own blood took it upon themselves to make a difference. You donated blood, I remember?
I did, in fact. You know what? I was tired afterwards, but it felt great. I'm really glad I did it.
Yeah, it's a good thing.
Anyway, up next we have Carson Engel with sports.
Today I'm going to give you guys a look at the Grapevine game as well as our homecoming game against the MacArthur Tigers. First off, with the Grapevine game, we can see it was a big game for our offense as well as our defense with a lot of hard-hitting plays with a final score of 69-27 Panthers. Now as a look at our homecoming game, which is always a fun game for the Panthers here at Colleyville Heritage. We had some big plays from Connor Davis, number 29, as well as Kalen Dubowski, number 7. As you can see, the final score was 56-47 Panthers, and now our record is 7-1 as we just beat Irving Nimitz on Friday night, and we're coming up against a game against R.L. Turner on Friday night. I hope to see you all there. Back to you.
Thank you, Carson.
I'm really excited for playoffs this year.
Yeah, it's going to be really fun.
It's been a really good season, and it's just... I'm really glad that my senior year, it's been such a great football season so far.
Good.
Anyway, that's all we have for you today on Roaring Red Live. Thanks for watching. And be sure to go to chhsroaringred.com for stories, videos, and more.
I'm Victoria Post.
And I'm Jeffrey McPhail. Stay classy, Colleyville.